She was however old, like I care, like I'm
Okay.
used to you.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
All right.
I'm gonna keep it clean for you though today, sis. I'm gonna keep it clean. You know.
Nah,
I appreciate that.
It's like Mom Duke's been on here. You know what I'm saying? I got
Yeah.
to be. You got to be respected.
He gonna keep it clean until something.
We talk about these niggas.
All right, so we so we start talking about these niggas. Hey, all right, so we recording. So hit us with it.
Let's get it. What up, 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 my peoples, my mother booping peoples. We are back. Quality Minutes Podcast. I don't even know what episode it is, but we still going strong, baby.
This is episode 12. 12. Yes, indeed. Let's see. We gotta clap. We definitely gotta clap that up.
Yes.
Hold on. Come on. My button's not working? Okay, there it is.
I will have to say our audience got a little live on that clap.
Yeah. Well, the last audio we were using was entitled Golf Clap, so it was kind of like, it was real soft and gentle. But this one is applause, so we're gonna get into it. Definitely. But episode 11, man. Let me just say this is important, because when I was doing my research about podcasts, they say like most people don't make it past episode 7. So now we are on episode 12. Episode 12, still doing it.
With that, like, is that because of they just give up, or they don't have the content, or is it just, do they have anything else about that?
I think it's like people get discouraged because you don't have the listenership that you're hoping for, or you might be running out of content and just life gets in the way. But if you're doing a podcast 7 episodes and you only got 5 listeners each time, it could be kind of discouraging. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, we got a few more than that, but yes, we on number 12, so we're gonna give it up for that.
And we are very, very blessed again, ladies and gentlemen. This is our second female guest.
I know.
Wow. She has this woman that we have in front of us, ladies and gentlemen. I've had the pleasure of knowing over 25 to 30 years of my life. Yeah. She's excellent in the community. She's very just outspoken. She's great. She happens to be the co-CEO of Quality Minutes sister.
Yes. I would say I have had the pleasure of knowing this person my entire life. And it was a we real here. So it was a gift and a curse coming up behind Erin Williams, our guest. So first of all, let's just introduce you. Let's give it up for Miss Erin Williams. Let's give it up. Give it up. Yes. My sister, my real sister, not like fake sister, hood sister, is my real biological sister. But I got to jump into it. Like, it was a gift and a curse. Here was the curse. I'm gonna start off with that.
Let's go.
and Greg could probably understand because he got a sister that's older than him. And so here's the curse.
Daddy. Love you.
First and foremost, you was good at like everything that you did. So like you was playing the violin, you was in the choir, it was like National Honor Society, grades were fantastic. You was doing nails, you had your own business set up. And then there was me.
Niggas like us.
And then there was me. Yeah, grades was okay, struggling, behavior issues.
Parents just thinking you're running amok.
Oh my God.
Do what I can do here, Mom. No,
but definitely got to follow with. So the gift also was like you're significantly older than me. Not significantly, but you're you are older than me. But like 7 was it 7, 8 years?
7.5 years.
7.5 years. So like you kind of looked out me. You're almost like an auntie. You know what I'm saying? You looked out for me in that way. You know what I'm saying? Picked me up from school, made sure homework was done. So you kept me accountable. So I definitely appreciate that. So definitely give it up for. So how you doing? How you doing, Miss Erin Williams?
doing great. How you all doing? I'm proud. First of all, let me say I am so proud of y'all. I am so proud of you. Now I don't know about the whole curse thing. I don't know about neither one of y'all Negroes talk about it's a curse. I'm going to, and poor Javon. Y'all Negroes, please. Okay. We took good care of our little brothers. I know
That's
that.
true.
We took real good care of y'all. Y'all never had a need for anything. I know that.
That's
So
true.
whatever. Y'all was blessed to have us as sisters because we took good care of y'all.
Most
Blessed.
definitely. And you
Okay.
just made some huge footsteps to try to fill 4.0. My sister was salutatorian. Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm on the honor roll I'm on the honor roll, mom. Like, come on.
And the honor roll was kind of spotty with us, probably. It was like first quarter, then it was
maybe
like
third.
Depending on how we wanted to act at the time. Like it was spotty. But we,
I used to get screwed every time.
But we had y'all's back. Because I know, you remember the time, Ryan, when I went up to the school and had your back when you was at Einstein and I was writing notes for you to get you out of trouble.
Right. Definitely outside your jurisdiction. Writing letters to the teachers. Teachers like, who is this? I'm like, my sister. She like...
Okay, if she vouch for you, because most sisters won't vouch.
Anything to make sure my brother didn't get in trouble, because I had your back. That was one thing.
You hear here, mom and dad. They telling on each other tonight.
Man.
But my week's been going pretty swell. I can't complain. Quality Minutes LLC has been invited to our first pop-up shop.
Awesome.
Yes. May 15th in Detroit, Michigan.
Fry Guy Festival.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to the Fry Guy, on Gratiot. I'm going to be on the East with it, so please pray for us.
Okay. Say your prayers. Say your prayers. I'm going to have my Kevlar.
Quality Minutes Festo.
Quality Minutes. Flak jacket.
I hope it ends before dark.
Oh, I hope so, too. Somebody's going to be ass out because it's Quality Minutes, making every minute count, getting the hell out of here. That's what we're going
to pack it up. Because me being there at night,
sheesh. Yeah. What was? Hey, man, shout out to Speedy with these damn sound effects. How was your week over there, brother?
Hold on, wait. I gotta ask you. So we haven't recorded in a couple weeks. So has there been any wedding planning? Any talks? Any dates? What's the update on engagement?
As far as our engagement, we found a venue that's pretty decent. We're talking to the wedding planner as we speak. Shout out to Cora. Hit us up. But everything so far so good. She's come up with some colors. Don't let me get to lie to exactly what they are. It's pretty much been in her hands. So I just, I'm just
you just gonna show up.
Yeah, that's it.
You're just gonna show up. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's what you do. You let me know when and where and what time.
Oh yeah, the bachelor party gonna be lit though. We're out of here. We're taking off, buddy. We're taking off.
Yeah, that's all I need to know. Like, when is that? Give me the date, the wedding date, so we can plan. Like, what bachelor party's gonna look like. So,
I think it was September 12th
of
September 12th, 22.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, we got some time. All right. Cool.
All right.
But no, my week has been okay. Just busy. I thought we had turned a corner with the weather over here because like last week it was super nice. We were like 70s, 80s in terms of the weather, but this week it was trash. Like it was cold as hell, man. I was like, yeah.
I like it.
Didn't y'all get some bad storms down there?
Yeah, so we are so like the schools were out Thursday because of possible tornado.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get a tornado, but tornado was supposed to come. I think it went south or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been cool. But it's just been chilly outside. But last week was super nice. So whatever. We all good.
on the topic of tornadoes, man, prayers down to the people in Alabama, the Tuscaloosa, Birmingham area.
Yeah.
They had a few big storms, tornadoes touched down, man. It was some that was maybe like 10, 15 miles from my cousin T. It was good. They were bad storms too. So praying for everybody down there. I heard no injuries. I mean, no deaths or anything like that so far. So we're still definitely praying for y'all down there, Alabama. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Definitely prayers up. All right. Yeah. So, Erin, did you tell us about your week?
It was busy. And tomorrow I have to go speak to some young ladies in a transitional home about healthy relationships. So,
okay. So tell us and the listeners, what is it that you do?
I am a licensed professional counselor, and I am, which in other words, I'm a therapist for adolescent girls and adult women. That is what my day job. But my other job is I do a lot of speaking and to a lot of teenage girls and different things about self-esteem and healthy relationships and anything that has anything to do with teenage girls. So that's what I was asked to go to, a transitional home for girls that have aged out of foster care. Well, they're still in foster care, but they don't have anywhere to live. And so they're in a transitional home. Their age is they're 18 to 21. And so they're living there now. And so it's like 6 girls. So I'm going to speak to them tomorrow. And because I have a friend of mine who owns a transitional living facility. And so I'm going to talk to them about healthy relationships, about setting boundaries in relationships. And so tomorrow evening. So that's what I do.
As young ladies, I can say, because Mia's mom actually came from a first foster care, and like certain issues and things that she dealt with as an adult, you know, she it's because of that, you know what I mean? So their mental health does definitely be wavy and all over the place, because she can go 0 to 100 and doesn't know how to cling as far as like having a good relationship with people. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Mia is his daughter, FYI. I don't know.
Yeah, FYI.
But let me ask you a question. Like, so I think about, you know, people who are in that situation in foster care. And if you're in foster care, that means that you've had some very tumultuous circumstances, like leading up to being in foster care, right? Like family issues, all types of stuff going on. Like, how do you make an impact with all that trauma and all those things that are heavy on people's, you know, lives and their mental, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you make an impact? Because there's so many things that these people are holding on to or dealing with. Like, you know, you've been doing this for a while. So how is that?
Well, now, you know, now I work in considered outpatient. You know, I work in private practice, but before I've been doing this for 2 years, but before that, for almost 13 years, I worked only with girls that were actually in foster care. So teenage girls that were in foster care, and I got them. The youngest I had was like 13 and the oldest was 18. And it's really difficult to make an impact because you get them at the most tumultuous time. You know, most of the time the girls had, you know, some of them had been in foster care since they were little, you know, some of them were just coming into foster care. But you just have to, a lot of times you just have to plant seeds. Some of the girls just need to know somebody cares about them. I mean, if you could imagine, you know, they've been bounced from foster homes to because I was working in a residential facility. So when they're in a residential facility, that means for whatever reason, they didn't make it in a foster home. Or, you know, I know here in the state of Michigan, there's a shortage of actually foster homes, you know, because especially when the pandemic hit, people couldn't afford to, you know, they didn't want kids in the foster homes because they didn't have the money, you know, to do it. But a lot of times the kids just need love. They just need somebody, especially as teenagers, because everybody wants the little kids. They think it's cute, you know, to have a little kid, but just trying to teach them, you know, different things. Like Greg was talking about his daughter's mom. just teaching them skills. I remember a lot of times I would take the girls into the kitchen and just teach them how to bake, just basic life skills that nobody taught them how to do. Me and you, Ryan, we grew up in a 2-parent home and we were taught basic life skills. Some of these kids have never known. I remember I had kids girls who never knew how to, when their menstrual cycles came, nobody had taught them how to do just the basic girl stuff. I had to sit down and do like hygiene stuff. Like I did a board about hygiene, how to take proper showers. Those are the type of stuff that I did with girls. And they're like 15, 16, 17 years old, and nobody told them, the basic life skills, and these are girls that were getting ready to graduate from high school, some of them. And then you expect them to graduate from high school and be an adult
and live a functional life and have productive relationships and and they don't know those. Yeah, that's crazy.
Little stuff we take for granted too.
The stuff we take for
showers.
Granted.
That's
so,
crazy.
Let me ask you. You said when COVID hit, they just didn't have like the spaces in foster homes. Like, so where did these kids go?
A lot of them. And it's crazy, but a lot of them, like my friend who has a transitional living home, she has some of them, but a lot of them are homeless.
Dang.
Because in the state of Michigan, because I can only speak for the state, I'm not sure what's going on in other states, but in the state of Michigan, kids can reside in foster care, considered in foster care until they're 21 years old. Which means that they can stay and they can still get money every month as long as they are in school or working. They just have to, they can still do that. And the caseworker continues to be assigned to them as long as they're and they can find somewhere for them to go, which means that they can stay in residential, because some kids, they have all these different colleges who have college programs for kids in foster care. Good schools, Michigan State, University of Michigan, Ferris, all of them have these agreements with the Department of Human Services. And they have like dorms specifically set aside for kids in foster care, which remain open year round.
Wow. Like I did not know that.
They don't close. And they provide refrigerators, they provide comforters, they provide all of these different things. And a lot of the professors and stuff bring the kids home during the holidays to make sure the kids have somewhere to go, because a lot of times the cafeteria is shut down, but these professors and different people in the community agree to bring the kids home to make sure that they have some kind of family setting, because most of these kids don't have anybody.
Wow.
So that's a part of all of this. And this happened probably about 15 years ago. That started because they found that a lot of these kids were just kind of wandering. So as the years progressed, all these other schools began to get on board. So mostly all of the schools, most of the big schools in the state of Michigan are on board with these programs. And so that's part of it. So these kids can stay in school, but a lot of the times the kids are so emotionally disturbed and they haven't gotten healed that they don't agree to it, because they're just like, I don't want anybody I don't want to deal with them. And so they just like, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah. We see that opportunity, but a kid who's gone through, hell their entire life and probably struggled through high school, not because they're intellectually struggling, but because they got all these other things going on. Like, and then you're like, oh, well, let's go to college. And they're like,
right.
I'll pass.
Because they're EI. A lot of them are EI.
FYI.
A lot of them are EI. It's not that they're not intelligent. They're EI. They're emotionally, so they got special, they got these IEPs but it's not because they're not intelligent, because they can't sit still in school because they got emotional, they're traumatized. They have PTSD, you know, whatever the issue is. But so
that's tough.
Yeah,
it is tough.
So aside from the big bucks, why did you choose this to go into? Because I remember when you first started college, like it was what, criminal justice? You wanted to be a lawyer or attorney or something like that?
Well, I never really, I was going to go into law, but it wasn't, I never wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a children's advocate. I wanted to work on Capitol Hill for children's rights, to fight for the rights for these kids, because my passion has always been to help kids, you know, but I wanted to work on the law side of it to help, you know, because my big thing was I always had a passion to help kids that were less fortunate, you know, because it was just like, because you know who Marion Wright Edelson is, the one who, right. And so she was like my inspiration, you know. It was like, you have to fight for the rights for them. But I realized that I wanted to be more direct. I wanted to touch them directly. So then I became a teacher, and but then I just decided I wanted to, then I was mentoring, and because I mentored my first kid when I was in college, you know, and so, but girls have always been my passion, you know. Because Ryan, I don't even know if you remember, but I dealt with depression and anxiety when I was in high school, you know. And I just was like, I needed to do something to help, like, because I didn't want somebody to deal with what I dealt with when I was in high school. And I dealt with it really badly when I was in college. And so I wanted to be a therapist, a type of therapist that I needed when I was that age. And so when I decided to go back to school to be a therapist, it didn't have anything to do with money, because trust me, we don't make a lot of money. I just started making money in the last couple of years when when I went into private practice, because when I was a nonprofit, it might as well be no money. That's what they should call it, is no money.
Well, no, they said it's non-profit. That's exactly what it's called.
Community service plans.
Volunteer work.
It's more like volunteer work, because I mean, I was working like 50, 55 hours a week. I might as well have been doing it for free, but you know, but I loved it because I was helping those girls, you know. And I remember I got a call, a girl messaged me on Facebook when I was driving back from Christmas, and she's now 27 years old. I had her at Wedgwood at the nonprofit where I worked at when she was 13. And she messaged me and she said, "Miss Erin, I just want you to know that you made such an impact on my life, and I'm forever grateful."
Yes, clap it up for her. Clap it up, man.
Definitely got to give it up.
So,
for sure.
Blessings on blessings, man. We need more people like you in the world, man, honestly. Because, you know, we give our role to those still around here at Quality Minutes.
Yeah. So tell us about, like, I guess that struggle and grappling with depression in high school. Because, like, working in schools myself, I'm seeing probably increase in, you know, instances of depression. I'm seeing more instances of like suicide threats and stuff like that. And, you know, and people are dealing with, especially having going through COVID right now, people are struggling. So like, talk about like that
anxiety and all that.
Anxiety. Yeah. Talk about that, you know, kind of you're grappling with depression.
And I think a lot of it had to do with, you know, and I think what I did, there's a bunch of Black minority clinicians here in the Grand Rapids area. And we did like a Zoom thing for minority parents. And we talked about COVID and mental health issues. And I think what happens with us as people of color, we believe that it's something like we should just push off and we don't deal with it, depression and anxiety and stuff like that. And we do. I mean, I know, like, I think I look back on my life and I think I started dealing with when I was about 12 years old, like depression, anxiety, and you really don't know what it is. You tell your kids, "Oh, just get over it," it'll be all right or whatever, but it's so real. And I think it starts off as like something simple, when you were, and I know for me growing up as a plus size girl, people being bullied, being picked on, not having great self-confidence and things like that. I always had friends and things like that, but just not always fitting in. I was always a smart girl. Just kind of sticking out because I was plus size. I was a little different because I played the violin, I sang, I was super smart. I was different. I was very different. And I think
hashtag be different. Hashtag be different.
Be different.
Not following the trends. Be yourself.
That's right. That's right.
Be different. But at that time, it was being plus size was hard because they didn't have all the cute clothes and different stuff like that they have now. And it was hard. It was hard being a kid then. And it made me sad. It made me really, really sad. Even though mom and dad and nanny and everybody, encouraged me to be who I was, it was just really hard. And so it was just hard for me. But that it carried on. So it made me just go inside. And I've never been one, even though I've had a big mouth. I know, Ryan, I've always been outspoken.
Facts.
Ryan used to call me Lucy from Charlie Brown. He used to call me that growing up.
Lucy
from Charlie Brown. He did. But
loose lips.
Shut up, Ryan. But at the same time, I never told anybody when I was sad. I never told anybody when I felt the way I did. I just didn't. So I suffered in silence all those years. When I got to college, it was the same way. And it was I just suffered in silence.
So how did you channel that from the inside of you to go and portray this career? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, like, when did you get to the point, like, you know what? I can deal with this and I can make a profession or try to help somebody so they don't, like, you know what I'm saying? When was the actual, because you said in college, was it right after you got out of college or,
no. When I got to college, I started mentoring. I started taking on like I remember my best friend and I, we joined Big Brothers Big Sisters. And so we took on, she had a little mentee, I had a little mentee. And so I started helping. I've always enjoyed helping people, but I found that when I started helping people, it helped me. And so that was kind of like the catalyst for it. Then I became a teacher and I enjoyed doing that. And I always had a passion for little girls, but it wasn't just that. They were drawn to me as well. Like they were always drawn, to me. And then I will never forget when I was teaching at MAA, and God rest Mrs. McLean. She just passed away like a few weeks ago.
Oh, Miss McLean. Shout out to Miss McLean.
She just passed away. And I'll never forget, I ran the girls mentoring program, and they were getting ready, they had to lay off teachers. And she brought me into her office and she said, Miss Williams, she said, you are a fantastic teacher. And I was teaching like 8th grade that year. And she said, I have to lay some teachers off and I really don't want to lay you off. She said, but you need to go back to school and be a counselor. She said, because you are fantastic with the girls. And nobody knew at that time that I had looked into the counseling program here in Grand Rapids. And she said, I'm going to lay you off. She said, I don't want to, but I know I have to. And she is the reason why I went back to school to be a therapist.
Shout out to Ms. Klein. But also, that's what I'm going to start telling people when I got to lay them off. Like, I don't want to lay you off, but you got to go back to school. There is the
easiest layoff.
There is something inside you that you need to explore.
The smoothest transition I've ever heard. You know what? I wouldn't be doing you justice to let you still work here.
I would be holding you back to allow you to remain in this building. So don't let the good Lord hit you. Don't let the door hit you.
But the good Lord split you. Don't take it personal though. You know,
don't take it personal because you got a gift. You got a gift. So let me ask this though. Like, well, let me say this, not ask this, but I think you make a good point in that at that time, when you were in middle school, high school, like, I wouldn't have known anyway because I was just on my other stuff, but like, I just wouldn't have known because you presented yourself as such a very strong and confident person, right? Like, you, like I said, violin and you're in choir, your grades were fantastic. And like, you used to take me around your friends and you're very, you were very extroverted. And so you would just never know in that moment. So, they always say, check on your strong friends because people are having struggles that you have no idea about, right? Internally. So I think that's a good point that you brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's so important. And I think as women, especially, and I think that's something is as minority women of color, black and brown women. And my client base is primarily black or brown women. That's something that is like a common theme. Is like we wear the super women cape. And I think that's something that's instilled in us as little girls, is that we really can't tell people when something is wrong. And it's not that it's really instilled in us, but that's what we see, And so when you see it, you just believe that's how it's supposed to be, because it's like we have responsibilities. I was the oldest, so I was taking care of you. I had responsibilities as, because I've always excelled. I was like an overachiever, always have been. So it was like I didn't have time to be sad. I was sad nobody knew about it, but that's an ongoing theme. So that saying check on your strong friends is because most of the time, as I talk to my clients, the strong women are the ones who are in secret struggling, and nobody knows about it. Like they're broken, but then in private, in public, they like, I got to get it together. I got to get it together, because they're taking care of everybody. They're taking care of, themselves, their families. They're like the leaders in, on their jobs. They're their leaders in church. They're, so they don't have time. They don't, they don't have time to fall apart.
Yeah. Too much counting on them.
Right. Even like the young people, like you were, like at school and stuff like that. And one thing that I tell people is, we always ask, hey, how you doing? And we say that so haphazardly. We have to, especially now since COVID, you really do have to stop and
how are you really doing? For real,
really
how you
ask,
really
no, really, how are you doing?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because I never really thought about, I thought about depression and stuff, but it never really hit me until I lost one of my best friends. And like people didn't understand, like I was in a dark spot. Like I couldn't be sad, because I had, my daughter around and children, whatever the case may be. So you got to hold a lot of pressure up, but behind closed doors, it was tough, man. It was tough. But yeah, that depression stuff is different, man.
But I think I think that's what we have to do though, because you have to show that vulnerability in front of, your kids and your loved ones, because if our kids don't see us be vulnerable and being open and struggle with something, right, then it's going to continue to perpetuate this idea that we got to hold it together no matter what.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's okay to let it go out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let it go sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why it's important that we as people of color, it's okay for us to be able to say, reach out for help. It's okay to have a therapist. it's okay for you to, if you can't hold it together, then go get help. I mean, it is a ton of African American people of color who are mental health professionals. You know,
hold on real quick. That's you just dropped the gem right there. We gotta yes,
talk
sure.
that boop.
I mean, it is okay. And I tell people all the time, and I have colleagues who, you know, that have t-shirts and everything like that. And so one of them has a t-shirt that says it's okay to have a therapist and Jesus. I mean, like, for real.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, for real, like, because in our community, it's like, oh, just go pray about it. No, you could pray about it and go talk to somebody else as well, like a trained mental health professional. And because I have my own therapist, I talk to her every 2 weeks. I pay her, and she has blessed my life, and she has helped me to get some stuff together. I mean, and it's okay. I mean, and there are a ton of mental health. And the one thing about with COVID has been a blessing is my therapist is on the other side of the state. She's in Southfield. Thank God for telehealth, where you can go and
shout out to the Zooms, baby.
Right, absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
Let me ask you a question. So there's this idea of like generational trauma that I was reading and hearing about, and you know, it usually pertains to like people of color, particularly Black people in this country, who have over generations experienced oppression, abuse, violence, like just systemic racism. And that's carried on through the generations, and like we hold on to generational trauma. Can you talk to us a little bit about, like, I don't know so much about the idea of generational trauma, but like what do you know about that idea?
I think it's so prevalent. I mean, I can talk to, and that's one of my, when I do my assessments, when I first meet a client, you know, I have my list of questions that I ask them. And one of the questions I ask is about abuse. You know, I ask about abuse, I ask about substance abuse, I ask about, you know, and oftentimes, you know, and then the other question I ask is, tell me about your childhood, you know, and
have you seen my childhood?
So I
Michael
asked,
Jackson, R.I.P. Sorry.
So I asked them about it, and a lot of times they automatically get defensive.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, why would you ask that? I said, because your presence, your past tells me a lot about your present. You know, and oftentimes, you know, like where you know, you see, if I see a young woman who is in an abusive relationship, a lot of times they saw it in their mother. You know, they saw it in their mother, saw it in their grandmother. You know, that type of stuff like that. How do you know how to, like Greg was talking about his daughter's mother, his daughter's mother's upbringing. How do you navigate through a relationship if you've never known how?
That's true.
Yeah.
If you've never seen an example of how to navigate through it,
or if you don't have like a mom that's been an example, or grandma has been an example. Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure, Ryan, as you've seen, you know, in the schools when you were in the middle school working, you know, some of those young men who have maybe come out of, you know, homes where there's domestic violence, where the dad was beating on women and different things like that. If that is not corrected quickly, what is he going to think? How does he think he's going to treat a woman?
That is true. That is definitely true.
That's all generational. That's generational trauma. Because the thing with trauma is, if you take two brains, one that's experienced, if you take two brains of a person who is exact same age, an 11-year-old that has never experienced trauma and an 11-year-old that has experienced trauma, those brains, the trauma brain looks totally different than the brain.
Right.
Totally. Because trauma is totally changes your brain. Totally.
Yeah. So yeah, I in this idea of generational, trauma, I heard this idea that like over generations of time, like this ongoing oppression and trauma, it almost changes your genetic makeup,
It
right?
does.
You know what I'm saying? And how you respond to things and just how you respond to the environment. So I mean, again, I don't know so much about it, but I was just interested, to hear what you had to say about it, because that's pretty interesting.
Because it makes you just like, it makes you hyper vigilant. It makes you it just, trauma does so I mean and you pass it along to your children and your children's children. If something does not change, if you don't do something, if you don't do something about it, and I get clients all the time, and they come in and I tell them, I was like, what happened to you is not your fault. It's not your fault, but healing is your responsibility.
Hold on.
Drop that one, B. Drop that one.
Hold on. You got to give us that one more time. You said what?
So whatever trauma you've gone through, whatever trauma, if you've been in foster care, if you've witnessed domestic violence, if you've been abandoned, you've been rejected, you've been abused, whatever your trauma is, whatever you've been through, it's not your fault. It is not your fault, and we don't fault you for it. But it is your responsibility and it's your right to be healed from it.
Okay, well, you preach it.
Church say, amen.
Yes, pass the collection plate. Where's the collection plate?
Sheesh. I'm feeling it in my fingers
over
here.
We about to go to an altar call at the end of this. What? Healing is your responsibility. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that,
man. Sure. I couldn't even put in no better words than that, man. Because you got to. It's only right. I mean, you can't just keep living your life. Well, it happened to me within, I was 6 years old and got my ass kicked, man. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get over it, you gotta do something to get yourself better, man. Better yourself.
That's right. It's not your fault that you got your ass kicked. It's not your fault that you grew up in an abusive situation. But again, if you 30, 40 years old, it's time to like take some steps to kind of heal from that.
But at the same time, if you were 6 years old, put a knife in the electrical socket, maybe you deserve to get your ass kicked. Okay?
It's some kids that need
some kids need their ass kicked. Okay, can we just? It's one thing to have mental issues. It's another thing to be bad as hell. There's some badass kids out here,
man.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah, so it's definitely some terrors out here.
We love you, children, but you're bad as hell.
Yeah, right. No, definitely. If your parents came home and whipped your ass just off the strength, that's abuse.
Okay, that's a little different there. Yeah,
that's a different.
Right.
But if you've been tearing it up at the schoolhouse, you cussing everybody out at the schoolhouse.
If your report card spells feed, you just
or just what the is this report card? No, yeah, you
deserve an ass kicking.
Yeah, okay.
I don't condone. Nah, I'm lying. Kick your kid's ass if you have to, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sick of it. Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm sick of it. Okay,
right.
Some of these little terrorists do deserve an ass kicking. I promote ass kickings. Okay, you hear it here first.
But some of these kids, the reason why they bad as crap is because maybe their parents, they trying to give them everything. They trying to give them everything instead of giving them some dang structure.
Right.
And they trying to, they too busy trying to have every man inside of heaven at their house.
Mm-hmm. These kids are not your friend. Okay, that's another thing.
And they got kids. They got 5 uncles. They got one for every day of the week. Except Saturday and Sunday.
That's true.
It's not your uncle.
It's not your friends.
Right.
Your children are not your friends.
And them uncles is touching on the girls.
Oh, yeah.
Sick freaks.
Right.
That's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up. I am absolutely flabbergasted. Like over the course of my life, I know so many girls so many women that I've either dated, that I'm friends with, that have experienced some form of sexual abuse. And it is just like, when I think about it, it's ridiculous. Like,
It'd be inside the family too. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's so much incest that goes on that is sickening. It's so much perversion and incest and stuff that's going on, but the sexual abuse that goes on and that goes unreported, and the mothers and the aunties and the grandmothers that know about it, and they like, oh, don't say anything, we don't want them to get in trouble. Or the mamas who let it go unreported because they want their bills paid.
Boo these people, please.
Definitely.
Please.
Which makes the kids just more traumatized. I mean, and you talk about mistrust and feel rejected and stuff because the mamas is choosing the men over.
That's tough.
Yeah, like how do you feel protected in your household if you've been sexually abused and you've told somebody and like nobody goes to bat for you, nobody does anything like that? I can't imagine growing up in that circumstance. That's crazy.
That's ridiculous, man. Just imagine the stress, and that's where the depression and stuff comes from. You can't even talk to your loved ones. They think you're lying or something. That's incredible.
Yeah, when the holidays come around, like that uncle or whoever is gonna come over, like what this.
Yeah,
we got to protect our babies out here, man. We got to protect our babies.
We do, man.
Right.
It's even sicker now because of the access that our kids have, these cell phones and internet access. And these people are freaks, bro. He was a guy who tried to inbox my kid on PlayStation 4, bro.
Oh, crazy.
I tried to Google this little mother.
I know you did.
I don't.
And people don't realize that with sex trafficking, which is so, people don't realize how prevalent sex trafficking is. And Michigan is the second to Las Vegas and sex trafficking in the country because of I-75, because I-75 goes straight down. So that's the reason why. So a lot of these girls is coming up missing. They're not coming up missing just because. A lot of them, they, playing into it, but they getting snatched up to go into sex trafficking. So they go reaching out to them on PlayStation and all of these different types of stuff because they are sick.
Yeah, they are, man. Parents, make sure you know your parental advisory apps and settings on all these devices. You can monitor everything. Like my daughter, I watch everything because I'm not playing around. I'm not playing around at all.
It is because they
catch a bullet.
Damn right, because that's what they pray. They know who to look for. They prey on young folks and young girls and usually boys too, man. Because our the young kids are excited to be on social media and to connect with people, and then you got somebody that's like, let's be friends, or I have a PS5, and they start tempting them with all these different ideas, and next thing you know, it's
trying to set up dates and see him. You want to play with me?
Man, what?
Well, boy. Yep. Shout out to Chris. What's his name? Chris Hansen, who used to be doing the To Catch a Predator guy.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Chris Hansen doing God's work
for real. It's another guy on Instagram.
I know your name is Chris Hansen. I like to call you Chris Handsome.
He was a guy on Instagram.
Shout out to the Boondocks.
He actually did something like that. He pretended to be a young girl and caught up with this pedophile in the hotel room, and he would just shoot him with a paintball gun. He just sat up there and shot him up like, you trying to come see a 14-year-old? No, please. They're going to try to plead his way out of there. I know I didn't come here for anything. This girl is 14 years old, bro.
Yeah. Listen, at my job, so I get these emails about like every day almost, either every day or every other day. And it's an email sending me information about sex offenders that are in the general vicinity, because I work at a school. So they send us this information, and it has their pictures, it has all their information, tattoos, their aliases, and then also like what they what they did to be considered a sex offender. And like, man, I'll be reading those violations, like it is just so they give you how old they were when they broke this law, and how old the victim was when they broke the law. And we talking about like 13, 12, 11 years old. You know what I'm saying? Crazy stuff. And they was like 32, 33 years old. It's nasty, folks. It's nasty. And they just look like regular Joe Schmoes. You know what I mean? They don't have a t-shirt that says sex offender. They just look like a regular dude walking around the street.
Man, that's why that sex offender list is very important that you can look up, man. Right in your neighborhood. I remember I stayed on the street. It was 3 of them on my block, bro. Like, damn. But see, a lot of times,
where was you living? What you have all these?
Brightmo, bro. Brightmo.
Right.
But see, it's like
Gotham City. Why do all these sickos on your block?
I think it's kind of like, well, some cases, I think maybe Frank talked about this once before, like, he was 16. Oh, he got charged an adult for the age difference right there. I've even met people who have some kind of shit on their record where the girl was 17 and he was 18 and something like that. And the parents called, that's an unfortunate part right there. Like, that's touchy, but it's like, sheesh. You got to ID these people, bro. I know. Where's your ID? Hashtag ask for identification, please.
Right, yeah, you got to be careful out here, fellas. Got to be careful out here, because you
cougars,
could be right.
Ladies, cougars.
Yeah, you could be fresh out of high school, right? Fresh out of high school. I was 17 when I was a senior in high school. You know what I'm saying? You was too, Greg, right? So our birthdays around the same time, and so you turn 18 years old, and like you still messing with certain girl. You got to be careful out here. So you need to pump your brakes. Make sure it is. Ask for ID, birthdays, social security number, all that.
Because one thing you don't want to do is get into a courtroom and they say these words: charge as an adult. Because you're fried, you're barbecue, baby. That felony is sticking to you, buddy.
Oh man. So let me ask you a question also about talking about trauma and PTSD. Do you get any like older Black people, older folks of color who are dealing with some things? Because I think about like grandma, right? Like our grandma knew Emmett Till growing up. And so I was thinking about how that situation, Emmett Till being killed in Mississippi, might have impacted her or in her family in some way, and like if she was able to deal with it. Like, Black folks who grew up in civil rights and in Mississippi, like, did they deal with it? I mean, it seemed, it seems like they've just kind of moved on it almost.
Right. I think my oldest client right now is, I don't get any that like grandma's age, because I don't take Medicare, and that's the Medicare age. So I don't take anybody that, as old as like grandma's age or something, but I do have some older clients that are like maybe mom's age, those that are still working and stuff like that. So I don't have any like grandma's age or anything like that, but they are still dealing with trauma, different things that have happened. A lot of them were trauma that were really triggered by COVID and the Black Lives Matter movement, because they were just like, I can't believe we're back at this place. So that was very triggering for a lot of them, just trying to figure out like how we got back here. That's where, after witnessing so much progression at one time, what they thought was progression. But so that was triggering for them.
Like the sad part is it never left. Right.
Well, that's what I said. What they thought was progression. Right. That's what I said. What they thought was progression.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that, because a lot of Black folks, particularly from the South, we were, grew up like Christian and inside the church. Do you think though that possibly held, Black people and people of color back from like really seeking out support, therapeutic help, because usually it's like we're gonna pray about it. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with it, we're gonna take it to the altar, we're gonna pray about it. But there's probably some more things. I mean, you said it, like, you know, you could believe in Jesus, but you also need to go see, you know, doctor such and such. Do you think that, you know, that could be a reason why a lot of this stuff is unaddressed?
I think it's a combination of that. Plus, you know, having a therapist is just always been, and just to put it plainly, mental health problems is just a white folks problem. You know, I'm just gonna be honest. It was like, you know, oh, Black folks don't deal with that. Black people don't have mental health problems. Black people they're not crazy. They just, you know, Black folks don't get depressed. You know, that's just like for a long time.
And we experience more trauma than anybody else in this country. Maybe Native Americans, but
in the world.
Right. You know, but so that I think it's a combination, because for a long time, Black people who in the Christian faith were always taught, you go and talk to your pastor, you know, so that was part of it. You go talk to a pastor, a minister. Then the other thing is you go, you know, Black people don't have mental health problems. Black people don't do self-harming behaviors. They don't commit suicide. They don't, you know, it was all these stigmas, just a lot of stigmas. So I think it's a lot of things wrapped up with it. It's just taboo. Having a therapist is taboo, you know? So, cause I remember when I worked in the nonprofit, I remember, you know, I was one of the only Black therapists in the entire agency. So they would come and get me, and I wasn't even on the case. And they were like, Erin, I need you to come and talk to this African-American parent. And I'm like, I don't even know you. What are you
calling the Black
the Black spokesperson? You know, I'm like, I don't even know you. Why am I? But I had to come and
she's got to know how to talk to these Black people. She has to.
Right. But I had to come and talk to the parent, because Susie Q she's not able to talk appropriately, because, you know, Black people, how do I say
we different.
Yeah.
Right. We're different. And white and Black people have people in these helping communities, social workers, counselors, things like that, have always tried to, all Black people look at therapists and counselors as CPS workers, because when they see somebody like us, we coming to take their kids away. You know, you know, we work for the Department of Human Services. So they come and get me so I could talk them down. So I had to go in there.
Like, what up?
Good morning, Mr. Harris. How you doing this morning? I'm Miss Williams. It's good to meet you. You know, this for another.
You're like, Williams.
Miss Williams, I hope you gonna talk to me better than so-and-so, because she came in here talking crazy to me, such and such, such, such. So I had to go in there and talk them down, you know.
Like, relax, baby. It's me, baby.
Come on, baby.
Come on, baby.
Right.
Come on, you see this perm? You know what I'm saying?
Fleeky nails.
But that is a problem, because that happens particularly in like social service jobs and, you know, jobs when we deal with people, because I've dealt with that as well. You know, when I was a teacher, I used to have a program, a mentor program where I, you know, supported Black male students. And so anytime a teacher would be struggling with a young Black student, young Black boy, they'd be like, Mr. Williams, I think he'd be great for your program.
Hit you with the hootie hoo.
Right. Like, have you tried talking to the kid? Have you tried calling their parents or building a relationship with the kid? Like, have you tried identifying their strengths and their interests? Like, have you tried those things? No.
Not at all.
We'll send them to Williams. Williams will get them right.
Call in the Black.
Call in the Black man.
Right.
Black man to the rescue.
White people, please stop doing that. Please do the work, do the research, do the necessary work. If you're gonna work in a place where you're serving people of color, do the work, please.
Right.
Because if you got to depend on us, on Black people, then maybe you shouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true to game.
Right. No. They got to call in the rescuer so we can come in and fix it. We got to fix it.
Now, off the subject, but still on the subject of white people. I just want to address this. Look, leave Kamala Harris alone, okay? Don't all this standing outside her house with the. Did y'all see that report?
I didn't see.
It was a gunman outside of her house with a loaded rifle, bro. Leave this black woman alone, bro.
Listen, y'all better not touch a hair on Vice President Harris. Man, listen. Better not on Women's History Month too,
bruh.
Do you know how many of the sorors would come out?
You better leave her alone.
So the Divine Nine, they gonna show up like Avengers Endgame. You remember at the end of Avengers when when everybody showed up to fight Thanos, bro. The Qs, the AKAs, they will be coming out of nowhere, bro. Relax.
Hey, gonna be on them. I'm trying to tell you.
Like, yo, you better relax. You have gold boots on your ass.
Pete. Jeez, Pete. Leave her alone, man. That really bothered me the other day seeing that, man. Like, what? Don't you know she's a black woman, ladies and gentlemen? You're not the only one strapped. You don't think she had the 9 on her looking out the window like Malcolm X?
Damn, she is of the vice president of the United States. She has a regular security detail. So y'all better take it easy. Y'all better take it easy, man.
So Erin, I also want to ask you, how do you feel about this your new president? How do you feel about Mr. Biden?
I think he's doing an okay job. It's quiet. It's quieter now than it was for the last 4 years.
Do you regret voting for Donald Trump?
Well, I didn't vote for Donald Trump. But I am great.
My bad.
It would have been a chilly day in hell. It would have been the polar bears had to been in hell before I voted for him.
Not the polar bears in hell.
But he's doing an okay job. I don't agree with everything, but I would have voted for a monkey riding on a bicycle backward, juggling knives.
It was reported that they saw you scaling the wall at the Capitol. Erin, is that true?
No. But he's doing all right. He's doing okay. I think people want him to perform miracles.
I know that's right. That's crazy.
And I don't know what people expect of him. He ain't been in office but 2.2 seconds. I mean, I don't, I wasn't exactly pleased with the whole stimulus package because of the money that he's given to those that are less fortunate, because I won't say all of it, but
Ray and Pookie and them losing their damn minds with this stimulus.
And that's my problem, because I know of some people who getting about 15 grand back just in taxes plus the stimulus.
Plus the stimmy? Jesus Christ.
They ain't worked ever.
Listen, I gotta push back. I'm sorry.
I know, Ryan. Bless your heart. God bless you.
I gotta push back, fam. So here's why I don't like having this conversation, right? Because I'm a believer in reparations, right? I believe that we need reparations to right the wrongs from the past, because I just got my ancestry back, right? And so,
I know.
Looking at our ancestors, I mean, we had enslaved family members, but I was thinking, like, what would have happened if our family members were not enslaved? Like, what kind of financial or wealth situation might we be in had like our folks not been oppressed for all this time? So anywho, I just, yes, there are people who use their money in the wrong way. But I think that I don't like having a conversation and saying like we can't just be giving folks this money because they're not going to use it correctly. Because I don't think that's 100% true. I think people still paying their bills. People are still paying their rent, and there are some knuckleheads who are buying hella shoes from StockX, right? But
for sure.
But at the same time, like I think if we empower Black people financially, like that's going to help out a whole lot. If I can get up from under this student loan debt, yo, you free I would be.
You know, it's an idea to me, like what would have been super dope. Like, if you're gonna offer us a stimulus check, offer us a class of money management. How about that? How about you?
This is what I propose, and I have taught myself and those of us in social services, and we have been preaching this for years. This is my problem with how people and I'm gonna be honest. When I was in grad school, I had to have to get some public assistance. This is my problem. Why not offer like budgeting classes and different things like that, even because this is one of the needs. And when I was talking about foster kids, a lot of those kids most all of them that have like they're on they get food stamps and things like that. Why not offer everybody that's on public assistance budgeting, how to go to the grocery store, how to buy why not offer those classes? And all of us, a lot of therapists and social workers and stuff have contracts and have talked about, we'll offer the classes on how to do that. Why not do that as part of getting that? Yeah. That's one of the things that we've been preaching for years. As long as I've been a therapist, we've been talking about that. Like, why not? Why isn't that part of, okay, if you're gonna get this, why not have that as a package?
Exactly.
That speaks to a bigger issue. That needs to be in our schools, right? Like, we need to teach kids financial responsibility and budgeting and how to invest. Like, that needs to be taught at the primary grades, early, right? And that's the problem. That's the problem. Like, because if we say, all right, we're going to offer these financial budgeting classes, like who do we determine needs these classes? Like, who has to take these classes? But instead of like saying, all right, we're going to give these budgeting classes in order to get this stimulus, like it needs to be in the general curriculum of our schools, so kids can know what the power of money and how to utilize money as a tool before they become adults. That's a problem in the system, I think.
Right.
One thing,
but because that system is broken. I mean, all the systems are broken. Let's be honest. All the systems are broken. The education system is broken. The social service community is broken. They're just all broken right now. So how did we fix them? Who the heck knows? I don't even know at this point.
I would rather be in class hearing about money management than hearing about George Washington. I don't, I mean, I'm just saying, like.
Right.
Teach me this history. Show me how to get this money right.
I would say that these systems are not broken. They're working exactly the way that they were designed to work. Right.
Well, drop that bomb. Drop it.
Oh, I don't have my bomb. I don't have my bomb. You don't got the bomb, baby. What can I use? Okay, let's do the air horn. Yeah. I don't believe, people say it's broken out, and I know what you mean. Like, it doesn't, it's broken for us. But I think it's working exactly the way it's designed. The criminal justice system is working the way it was designed. The educational system is working the way it was designed. So, cannot benefit. But I'd be like, listen, cut the reparations checks, cut the $6 million, $7 million checks, because if you think about impoverished communities or folks who engage in criminal activity, they would not
You're right.
Who would not engage in criminal activity if they were not living in poverty, right? Like they, if they're not struggling with finances, they wouldn't have to. If there were opportunities in those neighborhoods, financial opportunities, job opportunities in our neighborhoods, then we wouldn't need to get out there and make money right away to pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? Cut the check, cut the reparations checks.
Talk that boop, talk that mother boop boop.
Oh, I'm talking that today.
That's what I'm talking about. Drop the check, man. Drop it. But Pookie Ray Ray, save your bread, okay? There's no reason to buy all this Anejo 1942 off the shelves. Okay? There's no reason for all the Remy VSOP to be gone. There's no reason for 1738 to be off the shelf. This money is not for
Hennessy is not that good. Like,
no, please invest. Put some of that money in your kids' bank. Matter of fact, make your kids a bank account.
There you go.
Please.
And the sad thing about it is, like, the ones who, the kids, they're not gonna see it. Their parents is about to go turn the heck up.
They going bananas.
They about to go get the longest, most expensive weave they could get.
We having this conversation again. So even if like $1,400, okay, even if they were using the money responsibly, like once you pay that rent, right? Once you gas up
pay your rent first, though. Make sure you pay the rent.
Once you pay that rent, once you pay all the bills and stuff and all the other necessities, there's still not a ton left over for you to to play with. So
that's true.
Yeah. So, but anyway, but back to Greg asked me. I think Biden's doing all right, but people want him to perform a miracle like he is Jesus walking on water. But overall, I think he's doing okay. At least he's been quiet and he ain't been golfing on the golf.
Right. He did trip up them stairs going up into that
bless his heart. Jesus, I need somebody to get him some knee pads or something. I need him to not end up in the hospital with a broken leg.
I ain't mad. He done got a million people with vaccines, man. I ain't even mad at him. He could
clap it up,
at least
man.
He's
definitely let's clap it up for the vaccine. Hold on, let me see. Here we go.
My mom has successfully had her second shot. I'm not going around her though, but congratulations.
Good deal. I'm a little skeptical, but I'm still, definitely. But had he fell down the steps, oh my.
Kamala would have been the new president. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well,
we would have had a black woman president.
His body would have been shambles.
Oh God!
He'd have been like Professor X.
We need him to. I hope he get. Oh Jesus! But I hope he's taking all his calcium pills. But let's start. Jesus.
Listen, yo, because that was a long staircase. Had he fell backwards?
No, Ryan,
Secret
don't
Service.
say that.
Where the hell is the Secret Service? But they're supposed to protect this man.
That's not in their job description, don't they?
Nah, man, he too old, man.
Not training.
George Bush used to have somebody behind him. Ronald Reagan too. They ain't go up them stairs by themselves.
Hey.
Jesus,
bless your heart. So, yeah.
So, he tried to play it off though.
He did. I ain't mad at him. I'm not mad at him. I'm sure he laughed about it once he got in the Air Force One.
He probably said the same thing you said. Thank God I didn't fall backwards.
Right.
Jesus.
Yes. So it's Women's History Month, FYI. Women's History Month. So I want to hear from you all. Who's your top 3 women outside of the family? Because I know if I go, I'm gonna be like my mom, my grandma, 2 grandmas, like those gonna be the women in my life. But like outside of the women in your family, because we'll get to them in a minute, but like who is your top 3 women who've either inspired you or gives you hope, or who you just absolutely love? Anybody?
One of them is Mother Abney, which is Bishop William C. Abney's wife. She's like one of my spiritual mothers. And because one thing you did say, I'm a licensed and ordained minister. So she was like one of my spiritual mothers. And another lady by the name of Mother Virginia Carew. She was another one who was just always, those two are like prayed for me. They're like, they prayed for me when I was in college, when I was really going through a difficult time with my depression and stuff. And so both of those were they're just phenomenal women. Mother Abney lives up here in Grand Rapids, and Mother Virginia Carew lives in Texas, but very powerful women of God. I'm trying to think of somebody else who just totally inspired me. I'm trying to think. That's a good question.
All right, we'll think about that third when you think about that. Greg, you got somebody?
I'm gonna say Jackie Joyner Kersey.
Okay,
she inspired me.
Didn't expect that one.
Why that was a good one.
Why Jackie Joyner?
Because I used to love track before I even started running track in high school.
Okay,
and just seeing her accomplishments and everything she had to go through as far as her being a woman and in the press and media and things like that, I was very intrigued.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Cicely Tyson because she used to hit you with quotes. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say Michelle Obama.
Okay. All right. Definitely for everybody y'all just mentioned. Hold on. Wait.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Oh, and I got my third one.
Okay. Who's your third?
Oh, one of my dear girlfriends, Erica. My girlfriend, Erica.
Okay. Yeah, I know Erica.
Yeah.
What's happening, E?
Yeah.
Why Erica?
Erica she was like my big sister when I was in college, and just always just very encouraging. And she was, I don't know, it was just something about, how you meet somebody and you just kind of click, and her personality just was very always calming.
Mm-hmm.
And I always just looked up to her because of her calm, and I always wanted like a big sister. Mm-hmm. And she became like my big sister in college, and she now lives in Chicago. We don't talk very often, but she'll just text me every once in a while, hey, just checking in on you, and different things like that. But Erica's just always just been like my big sister. So she's just an awesome person in general. So
shout out to E.
Shout out to Erica.
Yeah.
Who'd you say, girl? You said Cicely Tyson, Jackie Jordan Kersey. Who was your third?
Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
Michelle Obama. Those are good picks. Why Michelle?
Michelle she stands strong, man. She was in her own element, man. She knew how to take over the room, the spotlight, and she's just a monster, bro. Like she's just a monster, man. Yeah. Obama he wouldn't have that swag if she wasn't on his side. You know what I'm saying? And it was just good to see her flourish, and you know what I'm saying? Because they was hating. They were trying their best to hate, but they couldn't.
Yeah, they couldn't. They can't. You listen.
Even they out of office now, and they just chilling. They still can't hate. Like I love that. I love it about them, bro.
Fam, can you listen to this? Listen to this. In the White House for 8 years, we had a black woman from the South Side of Chicago in there. What? Harold's chicken?
She had her pistol on her. She had the pistol.
Eating her Garrett's popcorn and deep dish pizza, bro.
That heroin always fleeky. She had her wave cap on when she wrap up.
What?
What I thought was cool. Somebody was putting that relax on her hair.
What I'm saying? Get them edges together.
Just get it together.
Well, she had one of the homegirls from DC come through the White House, hook her up
with these curls. She was keeping Obama on point. Hey, don't wear that, bro. Nah, not today. Mm-hmm. You're not about to make me look bad. Like, sheesh.
Yeah, she was. I don't know. Did y'all see that recent picture of Obama?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fresh as hell. Super drippy, man. What? Super drippy, man.
So who would be your three, Speedy?
So I would have to say Michelle Obama, man. Listen, she's not part of my family. I love Michelle Obama, man. Like she is too good for this world. Like I love Michelle Obama. Like just her elegance and the way that she carries herself is just absolutely like I'm a fan. Like the way people follow Beyonce, that's how I follow Michelle Obama.
Have you read her book? Did you read her book?
No, I'm looking at it right now though. I haven't gotten to it.
You'll love her more after you read her book. Her book is like you just be like, you my auntie. You're
down to earth, man.
She's a black woman. I was listening to, like, she did a couple episodes. She had a podcast and she did a couple episodes, but she did one episode where she invited like some of her friends that she had while she was in the White House, and they was just regular black women talking about
life, just
black shit. Like it was just like, you know what I'm saying? She just happened to live in the White House. You know what I'm saying? So it was Michelle.
They could not water her down. There was no watering them down at all, bro. They were just natural black people, man. Strong black people in there, bro. Mm-hmm. It was lovely to see, man.
That's
Who
right.
would be your other two?
Oh man. It's funny. I asked this question, but I didn't really think about it like that. Let's see, Michelle. I'm gonna say. I mean, this might be cliche, but definitely Harriet Tubman, because, like, she is a figure that we talk about all the time, but people don't realize how gangster she was. Like
That's dope. Yeah.
Harriet Tubman was an enslaved Black person who traveled to freedom and was like, you know what? I got to go back and get my folks.
Let me go get my mans in them. Yeah.
She went back a lot of times, like a lot, risking her life, risking possible re-enslavement, like torture. She went back. Like that's gangster, right? So definitely Harriet Tubman, Michelle. I don't know. Listen, so I'm not a super fan. I'm not a huge fan of her, but I'm gonna say Beyonce. Beyonce is, like she's just a figure. She's to me one of the greatest performers of our generation. I don't know, like she just galvanizes so much energy from people, and that's special, right? Like whether you love her or hate her, like that's special. What she can, the energy that's around her. So shout out to those women.
Okay. I don't want to seem like no hater or nothing. I love Beyonce. Okay, I love her, but anytime she drops something doesn't mean she needs a fucking Grammy. I'm sorry. Every time, bro. Like,
yeah, you're right.
Are you serious? Like, Jesus. Anything she puts her voice on, y'all putting the Grammy in her hand. We got to relax, ladies and gentlemen. Okay,
I agree with you.
Yeah, you're right.
She's a hell of a performer. I'm never going to take that away from her. But geez, everything.
Yeah, I'm just be like, okay.
I didn't even know she dropped that many songs last year to get all these damn Grammys. I didn't even know it. Yeah. Shout out to Nas.
Beyonce is okay, but it's like, okay.
Like, come on. Like, come on.
Okay. Enough, people.
We're sorry, Beehive. We know y'all probably ban our show if talking about her like this. I'm just saying. We're just saying.
I call her bouncy, but okay, bouncy.
You know what? Here's what I'll do. This is what I'll do. Not because y'all just brought that up. Like, I'm gonna shout out Shirley Chisholm. I'm gonna shout out Shirley Chisholm in the 70s or 80s, in the 70s or 80s. Shortly after, like, the civil rights bill was passed, like we finally got she ran for president. Can you imagine running for president as a Black woman in this country at that time? Like that's
insane, man. Shout out to this Black excellence. Women, we appreciate you.
Definitely.
Strong women. Damn. But on a lighter note, on a dude note, shout out to Nas.
Shout out to Nas.
About time, man.
Finally won a Grammy. So I did want to ask though, going back to the women, like, what about the women in your lives, like that, who's, played that major role? I know definitely probably we're gonna mention moms for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Of course.
Oh, for sure.
But additionally, like, who else you got in there?
Nanny, of course, because that's my, and grandma too, but I've always been closer to Nanny because I don't know. I think it's something about me and Nanny's relationship. I don't know. Nanny's always said I was like her third daughter. So me and my grandma, so my grandmother's always, and I think since I've gotten older, it's become even, her and I have gotten even closer as I've gotten older. So
Nanny is our mother's mother.
Yeah. Yeah. My maternal grandmother. So, and grandma too is, I remember, Ryan remembers when I was a rosebud, as he used to call us when I was growing up, and I spent a lot of time with grandma when I was younger, and she used to take me to different places and stuff with her. But yeah, Nanny and I, my homegirl.
I'm
shout out to Nanny.
Hey, y'all got some amazing women in y'all family, man. Real talk.
Yeah, Nanny will be 93 years old in December.
Oh, clap it up!
Wow, we gotta clap that up. We gotta give it up. Oh, come on now.
Gotta get Nanny on the podcast. Tell her some stories for 93 years.
And grandma be 90 in August.
Sheesh.
I know. This was, what I appreciate the most about Nanny is, number one, she used to curse a lot when I was a kid. So I just used to love that, man. That used to make my day. But also used to drink too. Like she gave me wine and like all that when I was a kid. She was unapologetic. Like she didn't care what nobody thought, bro. Like she did not care at all.
You gotta have those figures in your life, man.
Definitely. Shout out to Nanny and Grandma, man. Good folks.
Yes.
Good folks. Air horn for them. What about you, Greg?
I gotta have the beast, Joyce herself.
Joyce, I got it. Wait a minute, I got an air horn, Joyce.
That wouldn't be me if it wasn't for Joyce. I'm gonna say my auntie Joanne, rest her peace. She was a Black Panther. She's T's mom. Yeah, she's a Black Panther. She was an advocate. She was just amazing. I called her the warden. She was the only person that could come to your house and make you clean up your own house. Like, whoa, I'm like, Mom, you ain't gonna talk to your sister? Like, shit, this dude one of these, and she's the only person I know who can shut Joyce up. So it's
what?
Joyce ain't messing around with the warden, boy.
Wow,
nobody mess around with the warden. Rest in peace.
Wow,
that's funny.
I'm gonna say Javon, man.
Okay, all right. Shout out to Javon. I got an air horn, Javon. What's up with my? I'm sorry, my buzzer a little delayed, but hit it.
Javon, she's my big sister, man. She irritating, but she always got my best interest at hand, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Fat Daddy.
Definitely shout out to Javon for sure. I don't know if I can narrow it down. I just say all the women that have been directly in my life. You know what I'm saying? My mom, my sister.
Yeah, I gotta say your mom too. Yeah, I forgot about Mother Williams.
My mom, my sister, both my grandmothers, my aunt. Like I just remember spending so much time with these people growing up because either they was babysitting me or they were taking me. I was staying a night at their house, or like they've just played such an intricate part, an important part of my life, and just kind of raising me and stuff. And they just always just encourage me, like you know what I'm saying. They just nonstop encouragement, just telling me how well I can do. I could do anything I put my mind to. So I appreciate all the women in my life. So we gonna shout out all these women we just mentioned. We're gonna give them applause.
Because it's a fun story, man. Like before I got engaged, I think it was the last time not the last time you were in town, but you came for the conference, if I'm not mistaken. Your parents came and your grandma and all them was at the hotel, and they sat me down on the bed and said, "So, your mom said, are we thinking about marriage here?" Like, and your grandma was right there. They like put me in the interrogation room. Erin was there. They interrogated me. How do you feel about her? Is she cool? She seems nice. Woo, woo, woo. Let us know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I left the room like, wow, like these women really care about what's going on in my life, bro. So
right.
Shout out to y'all, Erin. I love y'all.
Well, we love you, Greg. You family. So like you've been around for forever. I mean, when I talk about brothers, like you're there. I mean, you my brother.
Right.
Yes, indeed.
Shout out to the village. They say it takes a village. Shout out to the village, man, for sure.
Hashtag village, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. We love y'all rockheads.
So let me ask, what do men, particularly Black men, what do we need to do to take care of our Black women?
Ooh. Let me sip my tea.
Did I take y'all? Did I surprise you with that one?
No, you didn't. I think.
What the hell was that?
I think what we were talking about getting healed. I think that's the first thing.
Okay.
I think you got to get healed. If I think first of all, you got to be honest. And you need to get healed. Because I think a lot of times men walk around, and I'm gonna give you a prime example. I was talking to this guy, and he had all these issues. Good guy, because you all are some amazing men. because you meet all these amazing men, but you have all these not, I don't want to call it baggage, but issues.
Yeah.
And you're not always honest. And just like we are, because we got the same problem, but you have to be honest to be able to get healed from them. And I think that's one of the first things is you got to get healed, because some of you all don't, you all just haven't been told that you can get healed from it. Go deal with your stuff.
True.
That's
true. So you all can continue to be amazing men.
That goes back to that, like that toxic masculinity. Like we just taught we got to be tough, we got to be hard, we can't be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Like we grow up in a situation like that, and then so you don't seek out help or support, like to deal with those things inside. And then it's too late. Like it's late. I mean, it's never too late, but by that time you're trying to get married or you're trying to get into a relationship, and now you're trying to deal with it. You're trying to build the plane while you're flying it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And then because us as women, we, will ask the question, well, what's going on? And we want to be able to, talk through what's going on, but you saying, well, nothing's going on. Well, yeah, sort of, because you're like bleeding all over the place. Yeah, like something's wrong.
They got a cigarette and a glass of Hennessy, and I'm good.
No, I'm straight. I'm pacing.
Right.
Got a single tear rolling out his eye. I'm good, I promise.
Damn allergies, man. Damn these damn allergies.
Right. But I think that's one of the other, one of the main things is to, kind of get healed. And then, ask your significant other what they need and not always assume.
Assumptions make assholes.
Ooh. Yeah, okay, here we go.
Ooh, them assumptions, boy. Ooh.
Definitely shout out to that one right there.
Holy moly donuts.
Because every woman is different. Every woman is just totally different. We're not all created equally, even though sometimes people think we are, we're just not the same. We're not the same person. So I think you have to ask what they need, someone and learn your partner's love language. Greg, go get the 5 love languages, and you and y'all read it together. And learn each other, please, because if y'all don't know, so learn how to communicate with one another, because that helps you to be able to communicate.
Yeah, that 5 love languages, definitely. You need to go check that out.
Definitely.
So I think those are the big things, because I'm like, for me being a therapist, I'm not trying to be a therapist for my boyfriend, my significant other. I work, my hours is from 9 to 5, Monday through
my office
Friday.
Hours are from 9 to 5. Shout out to Red. Right. But listen, also, women, if a man asks you what it is that you need,
please don't lie and say nothing.
Please answer the question truthfully. Don't be like, oh, you should know we done been together. Like,
no.
I've never been a certified psychic. I've never been a psychic.
No. Yeah. Okay.
So
that's dope. You just dropped some bombs right there.
Definitely drop some bombs.
Communication. Heal yourself. Don't assume, fellas. Please. We can't be assuming. Please.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, another good book is the 4 Agreements. You ever heard of the 4 Agreements? It's an easy read. It's a short read, but it's a good book. And one of the 4 agreements, basically the premise is if you follow these 4 agreements, like you'll have a good life or whatever. And one of the 4 agreements is don't make assumptions. Right. And so I think it's don't make assumptions. Make sure your word is impeccable. Don't take things personally, and do your very best at everything you do. But don't make assumptions.
Don't make assumptions. And make every minute count too.
And make every single minute count. You hear me?
I hear you.
This is the Quality Minutes podcast.
Right. Gang. So, Erin, What are you listening to nowadays?
What's your quality music recommendations for the people?
I listen to a lot of instrumental, like during the day while I'm in working in therapy. I listen to a lot of instrumental stuff off of YouTube.
You be freestyling?
Let me find out you on
what?
Yo,
106 in Park freestyles?
No.
Come on, Erin.
No,
you dropping
it's just
bars?
It's like the soothing, like background soothing stuff, instrumental music. That's what I listen to throughout the day. And sometimes just like I put on jazz and listen to it because that's for my own mental health.
Let me find out you listening to Special Delivery instrumental, wrapping up the G-Dep.
Yo, relax.
Erin be in the office. Special Delivery.
Yo, relax.
And then in the car, I'm listening to satellite radio. So
what's your morning commute music?
Well, I don't go anywhere. I work from home still.
I mean, I know before you start working from home, what did you pop in to get your day started?
Oh, I was always, I always listen to gospel music in the morning when I was going to work because I got to listen to Jesus.
Get the Lord.
And even now, before I start my day, I listen to usually like some kind of praise and worship music, Jason Nelson, somebody in the morning to start my day. So some kind of worship music in the morning because got to get my day right before I listen to everybody's problems.
I understand.
Got to get your mind right.
I understand.
Whew. So that's what I'm listening to these days.
Okay. All right.
Good.
And then I end my day with some jazz.
Who's your favorite jazz musician?
I love, I'm corny. But back in the day, Kenny G, like that. I love so like Najee.
Crazy on that joint.
Najee?
Oh man, I ain't heard that one in a minute. Jeez. Go ahead.
That's straight out of Darren Williams.
Yeah, I'm about to say
Toronto right there.
That's dad mode right there.
Darren Williams, 100%.
Yeah.
What? Incognito?
I do. I love Incognito. Don't talk.
Jesus.
Hiroshima?
Now, I don't know about Hiroshima, but
Pops and them be having that jazz going crazy, and then
man, what?
Incognito, man.
Shout out to my pops. What I appreciate Dad because he used to play all types of different music when I used to ride with him. Like we was jazz.
Your
gospel.
dad is a full mood, bro. Your pops is a mood.
Full mood.
Is he took me when we was living in Oak Park? He took me down in the basement one night. And he bust out the vinyls. And he played me Curtis Mayfield Superfly soundtrack.
Ooh, blew your mind.
I was like, what? I'm your mama? Right. I'm your daddy?
I'm that nigga in the alley?
What?
I'm
like
surprised
7 years old.
All the Ohio players. He got all the Ohio players.
Ohio players? What?
Man. Yeah. Your dad is one of the funniest people I've ever met, bro.
Oh,
but he's serious all the time, though. He's serious, but he's hilarious.
That dude is a clown.
Shout out to his thuggish, ruggish bone pose with our Quality Minutes hoodie on.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
He got the Scully on with it. Shout out to Dr. Williams, bro.
Yeah. I was telling somebody recently, like, he a clown, like, so. We'd go to like a nice restaurant or something, and this fool would be having a napkin up in his collar. Like, dude, what? Loud. What's good up in here? Like,
so
what would you recommend? Like, can you take it easy?
He don't care. He don't even care. He doesn't
care about nothing.
Not at all. And you guys look like a mixture of both. Now that I got y'all on the Zoom. You look like mom. You like dad.
Yes,
that's exactly.
Got that Williams nose.
Yep.
So, Greg, what you listening to, man? What's your recommendation?
I've been listening to the Benny, man. I've been listening to the Benny.
Yes, sir.
But that WizKid album is really is hitting on something for me.
I told you.
That boy's a vibe.
I told you.
It's sunny outside in Detroit today. I'm just gonna listen to Wizkid and drink a couple beverages and just have a good time today, bro.
Yes. Okay.
So that'll be my recommendation. The Wizkid John.
Oh man,
No,
definitely.
it's
His last.
It's 60 degrees. Ooh, Lord.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Sunshine, you see it beaming in. It got it beaming.
But since you mentioned, shout out to Benny's new album, Plugs I Met Part 2.
Yes.
Maybe we could do next time we get together and we podcast, we can talk a little bit about the album because I have some opinions about the album that you might want to hear.
Oh, for sure. Me too.
And then Wizkid's album is Made in Legos. A very good album. We do not work for any of these artists, but they're good music, so we go check them out.
Right, for sure.
Let's see. I've been listening to there's this white singer named Yebba, Yebba. Like she is so soulful.
Man. Yeah. I didn't know who he was listening to. Yeah, she's yeah.
There's a performance on YouTube. It's called My Mind. The title of the song is My Mind, and she's singing it live. And there's people's reactions to it. When I tell you this white girl is throwing down,
she reminds me of what was that old little? The other white chick who had a lot of soul.
You talking about Adele?
Yeah, she kind of got like a Adele feel.
Definitely, yeah. I can see that too.
I'm like, man, she was blowing. Pause.
Would that be a pause though? Like if she was, anywho.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Touche.
Anywho, so Yebba and I'm gonna say RJ Payne has a project called Beautiful Pain Part 3. RJ Payne is a he's a rapper, and he is just.
Well, I still got to go to rjpayne.com to listen to
it. No, it's on YouTube. It's on Spotify.
Jesus Christ.
Beautiful Pain 3 is on Spotify. Check out the RJ Payne's project. Check out Yebba and all these folks, man. Hey, listen, I appreciate you coming through, sis.
Well, I appreciate you.
Hold on, we got to give you the applause.
Yeah. Because before you go, you make every minute count. Thank you for mentoring these young ladies to be beautiful young women. Continue to do your thing. Welcome to the Hard Work Hall of Fame, of course.
Oh,
yes.
So
you know what I'm talking about.
Definitely. I appreciate you all that you do, all this, the role that you played in my life, even though you got on my damn nerves.
You wouldn't have had it no other way.
Listen, real quick. So she, like, my parents would be out of town and she be at the crib and she like, you supposed to be in at such and such a clock. Like,
I've been there. I've been there. Trust me. Oh, probation officer.
You supposed to be looking out.
Listen, because if something would have happened to your behind, it would have been my behind. So therefore, Negro, please.
I wasn't living that type of life.
Right? What would you thinking about these streets doing?
I'm not even putting you on blast. That one night you decided you was gonna come creeping in the house, and you was late. It was like in the wee hours in the morning, and you come creeping up the steps.
Yeah, y'all steps is pretty squeaky, bro.
Man, look, if you try to sneak into a home, it is not the Williams household, bro.
Like, whoa.
Let me tell you something. I used to try to be a ninja getting up them stairs. At one point, I'm like, listen, I'm going to just sleep on the couch downstairs because I'm waking up everybody, including the animals, the pets.
First of all, you can't sneak nothing past that Yolanda Williams. You know she's got ear. She is, first of all, she's half crazy. And second of all,
Sonic boys.
That Yolanda Williams, I know Jesus talks to her like he's coming. And he's talking, and she's, mama's crazy. So yeah, no.
Yeah, she is. I came home one time and there was a note on the table for me. Like, what? So a note?
I know you ain't here yet, Ryan. Just be prepared for the morning. I'm on your ass.
Oh my God. Anyways, we appreciate you and thanks for stopping by.
Yes.
Love y'all. I was super proud of y'all. Y'all keep doing great things. I talk about y'all all the time. I know people like, why does she talk about her brothers? Because I love y'all. I'm super proud of you.
Love you, sis. We're
proud of you too. So that's it. Hey, give them the plugs, Greg. What they need to do.
Follow us. follow, go support a brand that supports you. LiveQualityMinutes.com. Erin, is there anywhere they can find you if some of these ladies need some support out there? You got any contact info?
Yes, they can find me on Psychology Today. And they can just Google my name, Erin Williams, and they can find me there. So that's the best way to find me, is on there, because some things may be changing quickly, so I won't give them my other information. So
cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll
so
post
they
that
can find me.
information in the comments and on the YouTube. So
go like, subscribe, LiveQualityMinutes.com. We love y'all, man. Continue to make every minute count. And we love everybody, mama, just for having them. You know what I'm talking about?
we love
Yes.
y'all. We
Love
out of
y'all.
here.
Love
See you
piece of hair
later.
grease. You know what I'm talking about?
All right.